Blair, let's open this up here real quick.
All right, I'm Blair Heptig. I'm the field materials engineer for KDOT. Also here from KDOT is Christy Rezak. She's our pavement management engineer. Today I'm going to talk about the 4 discussion topics that were distributed by John. First up is building a pavement preservation culture. I think that's something that we have at KDOT. And really, I think there's 5 primary factors that have really allowed this to flourish. First thing is the pavement management system. I really think that's the most important thing. It's allowed us to measure results, set goals, tell our story. Another thing is champions. It takes champions at the district level, the area level, and also in our maintenance offices, and really allows us to advocate and tell our story to top management. And we've had a commitment from top management for multiple administrations. Really what we've had to do is communicate to them that during times of lack of funds, we really can't sacrifice pavement preservation for new construction. We've really got to continue with pavement preservation and maintain the condition of our system the best we can. We also have to have a simple framework for project selection, something that we can explain to our stakeholders, explain to our legislators, make sure it's not too complicated, because they will continue to pin down on that. That can be a little bit difficult to explain to them. And also really open to a mix of fixes. And by that I mean not only open to new treatments, but also open to new construction, heavy rehabilitation, as well as preservation and understanding the balance between those. Up next is project selection. When we talk to our stakeholders, we talk about expansion, modernization, and preservation, but really, internally, we talk about 3 primary categories. First up is new construction and major rehabilitation. Those are driven mostly by local consult and district input. That's been a big thing, especially with our new administration, is going around and getting input from the locals. We've already had well over 10 local consult meetings since this fall, and we're going to have more. Not only is local consult playing into that, also pavement condition, surface condition, as well as structural condition, geometrics, and capacity. So most of the time, these types of projects, they're driven by safety concerns and capacity concerns. Second category is preservation. What we do there, I talked about it, I believe it was in 2015 in Kansas City. We do a pavement surface condition optimization for preservation project selection. Then we pass that list along to our districts. They have some flexibility in the project selection and action selection, but they are constrained somewhat to the output from our pavement management system. We also have basically our chief of construction materials. That's the person that manages this fund. He also has a lot of input on the project selection. And finally, routine maintenance. That addresses more immediate needs, typically more like crack seals, some chip seals, some patching. That's district selection. It's a pretty small pot of money, maybe $1 million per district, so not a lot of work there. Pavement preservation in the pavement life cycle. I'm not a pavement manager, I'm a field materials guy. I deal a lot with construction techniques, specifications, training, pay issues. So I had to get some input on this. Pavement management group indicated that about 50% of our pavements were never really designed, at least during initial construction. They were built in the 20s, maybe the 30s, consisted of some grading work and then maybe a 2-inch layer of hot mix, or maybe even a chip seal or something like that. And these roads eventually got built up over time with rehabilitation strategies and preservation strategies. I guess you could call these perpetual pavements because we must maintain them indefinitely until they become a candidate for some type of expansion or modernization with safety features or additional capacity. So this next bullet point, I have no idea what it means, but it came from our pavement management group. They said that the pavement management system develops steady state solutions and programs that transition from current condition to steady state. What does that mean? Pavement management said, well, the best I can break it down is that allows us for roads that have a defined life and those that must be maintained indefinitely, and our pavement management system can account for that. Successes and failures. Successes, really, we've had good support for preservation for several decades. We implemented pavement management back in, I believe it was 1983. And really, we've been able to communicate to our legislators the importance of pavement preservation and had pretty consistent funding up until a couple years ago, but I think we're back on track now. Some of our failures have been major rehabilitation has not been funded when our budget is tight. That happened a couple years ago. They thought we could just do preservation techniques and we'd continue to have good performance, but we really saw some of our metrics start to fall. Successive preservation has led to a failure of maintaining structure. Again, you need that mix of fixes. You need the appropriate combination of heavy rehabilitation, new construction, and preservation to maintain or improve system performance. I kept it quick. Anybody have any questions? Thank you.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.